Hey everyone, my name is Matt and welcome back to Cobb Hill Farms. It's hard to believe right now, but with the weather being 60 degrees and cloudy, that the next 2 days are going to be almost prime weather conditions for making some hay. So we're going to get the 469 haybine here hooked up to the Farmall 460 tractor. I got a couple little minor things to do this, grease it up and get it ready so we can cut some hay tomorrow. This is our hay cutting lineup. Consists of a New Holland 469 haybine. They made these from 1968 to 1972. This one's a 9-foot cut, and this is coupled to our 1961 Farmall 460 gas. So as far as hay equipment goes, this was our first purchase here on the farm. I bought this, paid 250 bucks for it, and I have a real love-hate relationship with this thing. It's been a pretty good, reliable machine, with the exception of one thing that took me a few years to get some bugs worked out of it. A lot of that had to do with just the age of the machine and some wear on it. But with a little bit of farmer and machinist ingenuity, we got that problem solved. So the problem child for this thing for me for years has been this wobble drive. This is actually a pretty simple setup. The problem I've been having is where the wobble drive connects to the cutter bar. So if you're as old as this thing is, you're going to be a little worn and tired too. Well, what's happened over time is the cutter bar bed has actually got a bow in it, and on the knife arm end that connects to the wobble box actually has taken them sort of out of parallel. So what was happening is I could cut 3-4 acres at a time. Next thing you know, I blow that rubber bushing apart. Well, that got aggravating and expensive in a hurry. So subsequently, what have we done to remedy and fix the problem? It'd be this setup right here. So what we did was we got rid of the bushing assembly that New Holland had for the knife arm and dropped the brass bushing in the knife arm. And then this collar my friend machined up for me. We dropped this in from the top. This 1/2-inch bolt with washers comes in from the bottom and basically creates a cradle for the knife arm. And then this whole assembly gets bolted right tight to the wobble box arm, and the knife arm pivots with the brass bushing on here. What we've done for any kind of friction issue is we actually drilled and tapped and put a grease fitting on the end of the knife arm, and it's worked out really well. Usually once or twice a year I'll go through and replace this bolt because this seems to be the weak link. What happens is the nuts will loosen up and then it'll just shear the bolt off. I carry an extra assembly of these out in the field with me. This is actually the spare. So what I'm going to do now is just put a new bolt in so we start out fresh. I finished out the year. I think last year it broke just one bolt all season long between the 2 cuttings I do. So we're going to start out with a brand new bolt and we'll see how long it lasts this year. And we'll throw some grease in her. So under this side cover is just pretty much your drive components for the reel assembly. So there's a couple of grease fittings we got to get here. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the hay bines is prepared as it's going to be for cutting hay this year. It's no prize, you know, it's probably old and worn out, but I keep it running every year. I just can't go out and justify buying something new. So we do roughly around 30 acres of hay here on the farm. First cutting is about 400 to 500 small squares. Some of that's pre-sold, the rest of it goes in the barn. Second cutting is all square bales. A lot of that goes on the gooseneck and heads about an hour east of here. I got a customer that buys all my second cutting, with the exception of, I don't know, about 100 bales I keep back for our smaller calves when we do have them here on the farm. So we're gonna get busy and see how hay cutting goes. This is my least favorite implement that I own on this farm to try to hook up. Well, it's the next morning, and overnight the weatherman decided to change his mind again. It woke up and it was a little bit drizzly and still cool this morning, cloudy. It's going to be cloudy most of the day. They're still talking decent weather tomorrow, sunny, mid 70s. And then the following day, when I wanted to actually bale hay, now they're talking a chance of thunderstorms later in the afternoon. Not quite sure if I'm going to let that deter me or not. So we still may cut hay. This particular field that I'm going to go cut is straight Timothy, so it dries really quick. Usually, you know, I can get it dried in a day and a half, but for right now, we're out here in the pasture where the cows have been for the last 10 days. I pulled them off of here a day ago, and I want to mow under some fence line, and I also want to go through and clip this field and hopefully generate some regrowth so we can get them back out here in another 3 weeks or so. even though I wasn't able to get any hay cut, that's all right. Getting the pastures clipped and getting mowed under the fence was something on the to-do list, so that's something else we can check off. So I promise there'll be a hay cutting video coming up here pretty soon. We gotta have a nice stretch of weather here at some point to get some hay done. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like our channel, we ask you to subscribe. We hope you have a great day. See you next time.